Well, I'm officially a speedrunner. Not only a speedrunner, but a world record holder. Well, if you can consider me a world record holder, I mean, technically I am, but I'm the only one that's run this category in this game. Take that information and do it whatever you want with it. I figured I might as well commentate over my run, so it's a little more insightful. I'm going to have two versions of this speedrun on my channel. Actually, three. There's going to be this one that's public, and I'm going to have two unlisted versions of the speedrun in the description. One's going to have just the game audio of the run, and then the other one's going to be my actual commentary during the run. But I figure that it's a lot better to have a video that is after the run, where I can better explain some of the things that I do during the run. Either way, I am now the world record holder for Road to Elite in Elite difficulty. So here it is, the run with commentary. Well, since I am now the official #1 in the world with the world record in Road to Elite on Elite difficulty in AEW Fight Forever, I figured I would give a commentary over my run. Now, I do have the original commentary that I did over it, but I figured maybe a little more insightful after the run to do another commentary. So here's a bunch of crazy things to skip over. But basically my biggest thing was, who do I choose for this run? And I was thinking to myself, who would have a semi-quick finish and would be able to do a lot of damage? Because the thing with this mode is that it's supposed to be the mode that you use with your created character. The created character, however, will always start Road to Elite with 0 stats, no matter what. Even if you do it a second time, they will always start off with 0 stats. But if you use an already made star, like a Kenny Omega, like I did here, they will have stats. So I had to find somebody that had a couple of things. One, maxed out finisher strength and maxed out momentum gain. And I did that for a couple of reasons, which I will explain in a little bit. But I want to explain what I'm trying to do here. So this match is how you start off every Road to Elite. This match can get very annoying, because on a normal basis, you would want to win this match. In fact, if you win it, you get a different storyline for this subchapter. But I can't go a half hour here. Like, that would defeat the whole purpose. We're in a speedrun. So I need to lose this match as quick as possible. I have seen people lose this, and I have lost this a lot sooner than that. But as you see, the purpose is to get to the outside of the ring, and ideally they will knock you off. But that's not what I was able to get to have happen. So thankfully Jungle Boy got his finisher, and once they kind of get the finisher, that's when they seem to like really want to go after you. So thankfully that's what happened. And explain right here, we're saving a lot of time by not going through the weeks. You get 4 weeks, or not 4 weeks per se, but you get 4 opportunities to do different things, like train so you get more stat points, or go out to eat so you get energy points to do more things like train, so you get more stat points. Or you can go sightseeing, which increases your mental state. That I will explain here in a little bit, but to go back to my original thing while we're doing this match, I actually found it pretty difficult to find a wrestler that had maxed out momentum gains and maxed out finisher power. Very few of them actually do, and Kenny Omega is one of the very few that do. I was thinking maybe somebody like Wardlow or somebody that's tough, that has the ability to not get knocked down so easily. But they did not have maxed out momentum or maxed out finisher power. Kenny Omega, again, is one of the few, so I figure I will just go with that. And he actually does hit the one-winged angel pretty fast, so he might actually be the most ideal wrestler to use in this mode. And I'm not sure that if somebody has a level 4 finisher power as compared to a level 5, I don't really know how much of a difference that would make, but it's probably ideal to not mess with it and just go with somebody who has 5 finisher power. You want to be totally sure that you can finish matches. And I forget what I was talking about before. Oh, right here. This was stupid. The kick out buff came to haunt me a couple of times throughout this run. Hangman's one of those guys that has the kick out buff, which it doesn't. I don't know that it really affects their ability to kick out, but it just seems like anybody who's got that buff usually kicks out for no good reason. The grit one, that's the painful one, because it gives them a slight possibility to kick out of a match finishing pin. That one I think pops up a couple of times. But let's see here. I do forget what I was talking about before. Oh, right. With the things that you can do leading up to matches. So since I'm not using a created character, I don't have to worry about gaining stats. So there's really no reason to do anything like dining or sightseeing, anything like that. However, if your mental state is excellent, you start off every match with a very high momentum as compared to if your mental state were to be in like normal or low. That affects what your momentum will start at in each match. So there are a couple of times throughout this run where I will go and do something like sightseeing or the press conference, which I think I actually do here in a little bit. So skipping all these cutscenes. Yep, something hit the thing. Now this is where I noticed that I kind of screwed up a little bit because my mental state was in low for this match. And I do that a lot with the fireworks, where I'm trying to skip the entrance. I do that in almost every match. So I waste like a second almost in every single entrance, because I'm thinking I'm skipping it, but I'm really not, because I'm not pressing the right button to skip the entrance. So tag team match. This is not at all hard, these tag matches. All you have to do is just make sure that you don't let them tag in and out. So this one, that was crap. Usually I'm pretty good with not letting them tag, but he just got too close to the corner, so he was able to get Orange Cassidy in there. But so long as you don't let them get into the corner, you can actually finish tag matches off pretty quickly in Road to Elite. I think the game, I don't have anything to back this up, but I think the game purposely makes you more powerful and them just ever so slightly weaker in tag matches for whatever reason. And to point something out there, I did something really smart there. So Orange Cassidy has the ability to roll you up. I forget what the name of the ability is, but he has the ability to roll you up. And if you try to pin him, he'll roll you up into a pin, which would have killed more time there. But thankfully I stepped away from him and I didn't go for the pin right away. And I noticed that he was setting up to do that. Here we are in Austin. I think this is finally where I realize that I need to get my mental state up. I think we take an unnecessary photo, waste time. Yeah, I notice that I need to get my mental state up. And doing those can actually be a little bit of a hindrance because not only are you wasting time having to do them, but you can also get stuck in situations where I know at one point I had to do one of those and Sting was like, let's take a picture together. It's like, I don't want to take a picture with you, Sting, like any other time. I'll take a picture with you, but I don't want to take a picture with you right now. You're wasting my time. So a lot of times you won't have to run into that, but sometimes that does happen and it kills a couple of seconds. Sting was I think he was a bit of a pain here. So yeah, I was trying to run for Paul White there and he just got in the way. That didn't go so well. You get an extra bit of momentum attacking the guy on the apron. And they don't ever try to really attack you. So what I usually do is I do enough to make sure that one guy, the guy that's legal and in the ring, falls down, and then I'll usually run and drop kick whoever off the apron. But with Paul White, he can take a couple of hits before he falls off the apron, which sucks. But yeah, there I am making the very common mistake of trying to pick up Paul White. He's a heavyweight, so he can't be picked up that easily. There's the second tag of the match, which really sucks, but I'd actually prefer to have Sting in the ring, because I can at least pick Sting up for moves. That's really not what I'm even trying to do. They get a double team on me there, which sucks. I'm not really even trying to pick anybody up. So just so long as I can hit strikes like that. That combo right there is pretty good. See, on anybody else, one drop kick and they'll fall right off. But with Paul White, and there's probably a couple other guys, they usually take two pretty strong moves before they fall off. Sting hitting me with the grit ability so he can kick out at 2.99. Just fantastic. Absolutely massacring my time here. So I got Paul White down on the first try there. Also, something I'm thinking about right now. So here's a positive with using Kenny Omega. Despite the fact that his finisher is a little longer than some finishers that you can put on your character in this game, one of the bonuses is that he makes up that time with being able to go into the pin after he finishes his move. So I had a created character that I did that I used in this mode, and I gave him a clothesline. But when he would hit the clothesline, usually he would take a couple of steps and then he would be out of range for the pin. So I would have to move my character closer to be able to go to the pin. But with Kenny Omega's One-Winged Angel, he can hit the move and go directly into the pin. So that actually saves you probably some time, ultimately. So now that I think about it and I'm talking about it, Kenny Omega might be really ideal for this with his finisher, because you can just go straight into the pin. You don't even have to worry about it. So here's Best Friends. I don't remember if I really had a lot of trouble with them. I think this was an ideal style tag match. So see right there, like Trent just takes one drop kick, he's off the apron. I don't know why, I don't know how I didn't just automatically go for the finisher there. I just kind of let it sit. Okay, I didn't go straight into the pin there because I need Trent off the apron. But then he just gets right back up anyway. But thankfully, he was trying to slide into the ring, but where he was, it wasn't letting him get into the ring. And the AI was just like fidgeting for a moment and then was like, okay, let me move. Try to get into the ring. So that is pretty much the perfect tag match right there. You want to have that moment. Skipping all this, heading into the next chapter of the game. So that took about roughly 15 minutes. Well, 15 and a half minutes to finish the first chapter. Probably could be done better. Dance with Death. Here's where it gets really interesting. I always get this chapter, and it sucks. So we're going straight into it, straight into Dynamite. I gotta face Wardlow. Wardlow is another big guy that usually doesn't go down with a running boot, but I think, yeah, he's got unyielding pose, which can stop him from going down, at least until you affect his HP. So you gotta hit him with a lot of good strikes, or grapples. Able to counter that. He's just using his pose on me, man. It's me pretty good. One thing that sucks is the taunt buff. So all these buffs allow you to gain momentum faster. And the taunt buff is the most common. Now, you can only use it once per match. But taunting in general gives you momentum gain. But what sucks is Kenny Omega has a ton of really long taunts, which is not ideal. So here's my first mistake. I hit the One-Winged Angel far too close to the ropes at a bad angle. So Wardlow's leg was in the ropes, so I get a rope break. That probably would have been the end of the match. There's MJF trying to get involved, but doesn't get to do his thing. See, now I've affected Wardlow enough so he doesn't get to hit the unyielding pose. Trying to hit the taunt buff, but his taunts are so long that Wardlow just gets up. But the game, for some reason, lets people get up faster, it seems, when you hit taunts. Now, I went for a pin there knowing that I probably wouldn't get the 3, and I did that because sometimes, if they are in danger, they can, just with a basic move, go down on 3. So I tried, but it didn't work. I am going for the second one-wing angel to the pin. Rick Knox gets distracted for a hot second because MJF threw in a caution sign into the ring. The referees are super annoying in this game because they do take a second to get into place, and they kind of walk, then stop, and then walk again and get into place, and it takes them a bit to start counting. In certain matches, there is no ref, like the exploding barbed wire ring match. There's no ref involved, so they instantly count in those matches. But in any other normal match, they're there, and it takes them a hot second to start pinning, which then obviously affects your time. So I lost a bit of my mental state because of the flying. So I get that back real quick through a press conference. And here's my example from earlier. Sting wants to take a picture. So I gotta waste time with Sting giving him a picture. Gotta face the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and his brother Dustin. I think this was another pretty good tag match. We got through it pretty fast. Of course, I'm talking too soon, so it might not have been the case. So Cody's trying to hit me with his chest out there to stop the blow, but I am Kenny Omega, so I just blast right through it. Start pouncing on him. It's a momentum game. So I already got my signature right there. I'm going for it. So in the tag matches, it's better to hit your finisher and then just attack the guy. So desperation impulse, that's the ability. If I were to have gone for a pin straight away, he would have rolled me up, so that would have been a time loss. I stepped away and went for the pin. Thankfully, he succumbed to the one-wing angel. Pac, though, saved me big time because Dustin rolled into the ring, but he was able to stop Dustin from breaking up the pin. Thank God. That would have been a big time loss there. Another thing with this game that's really weird is that anytime that you knock somebody out, they could be in danger mode, and you go for a pin, and they'll just instantly wake up. Which is what happened there. That seems to happen a lot. So here's the breakup between Death Triangle and myself. They make me face Luchasaurus, which Luchasaurus you would think would be a fairly difficult match, but it's actually not a difficult match at all. I made it, however, difficult. Because I think in this match I also gave him the one-wing angel too close to the ropes, but I know he also kicked out a couple of times, which was super annoying. So I'm trying to get my taunt buff, but like I said, every time you hit a taunt, the game just gets you right back up, or it gets your opponent right back up. It's so weird how that mechanic works. I think the purpose is that you're supposed to taunt, and then they get up, and then you hit a move on them, but they don't get up groggy, so I don't understand the point. So that's the quickest taunt I have, is just the neck slice. But now I got the buff going, so I can gain some momentum faster. I missed a grapple there for some reason, but I countered him, so I got the momentum anyway. Here I am thinking it's gonna be it. Tried to get him out of the corner, but either his leg was No, his leg wasn't in the ropes, but I think he kicks out.
1, 2.
Yeah, like, he kicks out of the one-wing angel. Like, that is ridiculous. And it's funny because if you know real life, nobody ever kicks out of the one-wing angel. So here's this guy Luchasaurus kicking out of the one-wing angel. And I've got to do it again. So that striking combo is super effective. Here I am thinking maybe I can get him down for a 3. Still got him in desperation, but he gets out at 299. Son of a bitch. He's taunting me. Counter him. Now I'm thinking, oh god, he's gonna go to the outside of the ring, but thankfully I was able to get him back inside. Hit him with that taunt. Sometimes I notice that if you taunt as soon as they hit the mat, they won't get up as fast or right away. But I really don't understand how that mechanic works, or if that's just super coincidental or just how it happens, but it seems to happen far too much to be coincidental. I think it's something in the mechanic. Gotta strike him. Here we go. One-wing angel time. In. Here's Rick Knox, just smacking him right in the balls. Add insult to injury. Another one down. So now we're going to go into the last week of this block, I believe. They surround me, but what will happen? I don't know, because I've skipped the cutscene. Another thing that I'm very thankful for is that I didn't get injured at all in this run. And there is one storyline that does injure you, I believe, which I did not get. So, I had air travel, so that affected my mental state, so I got that back. I think I run into Darby Allin here? No, okay. So here we go.
It's Saturday night, and you
Here
know what that
is the
means.
most... Well, this was truly awful. This is the most painful part of the run for me. Because if you noticed on the match screen, it says that DQs are on. So I'm sitting here trying to get out of the ring. I am so desperate to get out of the ring. I want to get a weapon to disqualify myself. So here I am, I get a fire extinguisher. I think to myself, I just used it on him, but it doesn't get called disqualification. So I try to pick it back up, but Pac hits me, so I drop the fire extinguisher. My dumb ass tries to pick the fire extinguisher back up. I should have rolled out, I should have got another weapon, and call it a day. So here I am trying, now I'm out. Here's me getting another weapon. Here comes Penta with a freaking a suicide dive. He hits me, so I drop the bat. So now I'm like, okay, let me go grab the fire extinguisher. Can't grab the fire extinguisher. Why? Because to grab a weapon, it's the same button as the Irish whip button, which is the right trigger on controller. So I'm doing this all on controller. So when you're trying to pick up a weapon, 99% of the time you press the button, it tries to do an Irish whip to a ghost. I'm trying to pick up a weapon. So in this match, it starts off, it makes you think it's going to be a one-on-one match with Pac. So I guess I should explain this. But every couple of seconds, well, it only happens twice because there's only 2 of them. But Pentagon comes out and then Rey Fenix comes out. they will be involved the entire match. So DQs are on, right? In any other circumstance, somebody else getting involved would mean that that there would be a disqualification, but that's not how it gets called. Now, I have no idea because I've never tested this theory. And as you see, I don't even get a chance. But I don't know if disqualifications get turned off at some point or what the deal is. I have no clue. But they just beat your ass the whole match. My belief is that the game kind of sets you up to lose this match. For whatever reason. It is possible to win it, because I have won. But I'm in a speed run. I need to lose this match. And as you see, not going very well. I'm just trying to lose. So here's what I should have done. I should have just stayed on the outside and took the 10 count. But in my head, I'm thinking, all I need to do is just get one hit of a weapon on Pac, and that's it. I'm done. The match is over. I'm outside of the ring, just kind of toying around, because usually what happens is Phoenix and Pentagon, they start flying over the top rope. So I'm trying to get at least one of them out of the ring so that I can run in and try and hit Pac with a weapon. Okay, maybe okay. I do actually stay out here for the 10 count. But I should have done it earlier. Because it was a lost cause. Every time I got into the ring, they were kicking my ass. Thankfully, it doesn't really matter whether or not I win the match. I just need to play the match. So, for future reference, the best way to handle that situation is to just take the 10 count, or better handle getting a weapon at the start of the match, because I totally fumbled the bag there. That whole match is just annoying. Hate it. So I lose the mental state there. Here's a storyline. I was actually very disappointed. I have never had this chapter before. This is the first time I'd ever had this specific chapter, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I was mad because, and I say this in my original commentary, that I don't even get a chance to enjoy or see this chapter because I'm in a speedrun, so I gotta skip everything. So I get another tag match. It's supposed to be fairly simple and easy. But we'll see. So Eddie Kingston has the jumpstart ability, which can be very annoying. I think guys like Pac and Malachi Black have it. That can be pretty detrimental because they get the early advantage on you. You're losing a couple of seconds at least. You can counter it, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to be as consistent as countering them on a normal basis once the match actually starts, but I don't think that the odds are lower based on the ability. I think it's just because I suck at countering. I just find myself more consistently being able to counter them during the match rather than countering their jump start. So Kingston, I find, has the bailout ability, which was annoying, but thankfully it didn't really affect it too much. It just pops back into the ring, so. There's Kingston taking the one-wing angel. I can't go for the pin because Moxley's up on the apron. Mox, for whatever reason, did not want to go down. So I try to go for the pin here, but Mox just jumps right back up, and he's able to break up the pin, annoyingly. Again, that goes back to them being able to pop back up almost immediately after a taunt or when a pin is initiated. It just seems to happen far too much. Thankfully, Kingston was one of the very few examples of being in the danger momentum zone and me being able to do like a basic move to put him away. So we put him in a casket because he's dead now for some reason. I wish I would have better context as to why that happened, but I'd never played that specific storyline, so. Which thankfully, this might actually be the ideal storyline for Block 3 of Road to Elite. It seems to be just easy matches. So here I'm going to face Darby. It doesn't even let me do any of the shenanigans like going to eat or anything like that. It's just like, no, you're going to face Darby Allin right now. Go to Dynamite. But without context, I don't really know why that happens. So Darby was a little annoying in this match. Darby might be small, but he's pretty tough, so he just, I don't know, he gets a little annoying. Able to counter him. Striking proficiency, quick mount, thankfully, that's another big thing. You can get some pretty good momentum from ground or top rope moves, especially if you have a buff for it. So you want a guy with quick mount if you have a buff for diving moves. I want to say he kicked out. Or got him too close to the rope. No, I think he kicks out.
1, 2.
Yeah. I don't know if that was grit or what, but super annoying. Super annoying. Anytime you hit your finisher and they kick out, it's always going to be a bad time. So there's Darby kicking out again. He's able to get some air offense, thank God. Quick taunt. Now I got my taunt buff, but now he's going to start kicking my ass. I got some really good RNG in terms of being able to counter in matches. That's usually an area I really struggle in. But I turned on easy countering, so I can counter using the attack buttons on the controller instead of using the triggers, which I find helps a ton. All you gotta do is just start spamming the buttons and hope for the best. So I've injured Darby, but he gets a buff for that. Because he's supposed to be a tough guy. So, thankfully, One Wing Angel. And as I point out, look at Darby's mouth and look at my face. And we were in an interesting pose, so let your mind run wild. Let's see. Skipping through all that. I am victorious yet again, thank goodness. Flying all the way to Minneapolis, where we are going to skip straight to Dynamite. We're already in week 3. Brian Cage wants a piece, so we're going to go after him. Now he's an interesting one because he's got the unyielding pose. All the big guys do. So he can be kind of annoying with that. But I don't think I had really many issues with Brian Cage. Because normally with the unyielding pose, I wouldn't be able to hit that running big boot like that and make him fall down. Who better than Cage? And I'm like, here, Hobbs, have a drop kick. And then Brian Cage decides, let me give a suicide drop kick to Darby, which was fun. So I try to hit some strikes. Not hitting very well. This is a big, tough, buff dude. He's just eating my boots. He's not at all affected. And then Powerhouse Hobbs just kind of walks right into me and falls down like a grandma. Counter that, which was good. Corner sprint attack buff. I try to hit a long taunt there, which really gives me a lot of momentum boost. Like, the longer the taunt, the better the boost in momentum. But Kenny's is so long that I can never actually hit it very many times in this run. Just make Powerhouse Hobbs fall down again. He gets very annoying for whatever reason. Somebody hit the one-wing angel right in front of your face. He slides in a racket, which distracts Rick Knox. He yells at him real quick.
1, 2.
I've kind of figured I wasn't going to get the 3 there, which was very disappointing. Because Brian Cage did not go into danger level. And you really want to see that after you hit your finisher. That does not happen very often, but if that does, you pretty much know you're not going to get the 3. One thing there is I jumped off the top rope and Cage was setting up to catch me, which is the anti-air defense ability. That is super annoying because just about everybody in this game has that, especially all the big guys. And that really puts a hindrance on basically anything on the top rope unless they're on the ground. Which I was able to go up and hit him before he could set up the anti-air defense there. I tried to hit the long pose. It didn't work. I got him in danger. I'm about to get my signature. I'm going to hit one-wing angel for the second time, which puts him away, I believe. Oh, yeah. And you can almost see Brian Cage's butthole and his balls. But sadly, you can't. It's not that type of game. Here we are staring each other down. Such a great match. I've decided to move on. I don't have time for his shenanigans. I must go on about my day and fly to Chicago, where we're at the pay-per-view. More exhausting air travel. I do go out. For a second thought, maybe I skipped it, but I did not. And then Yuka Sakazaki comes and says hello, which wastes more of my time. But Yuka is kawaii, so I will deal with it.
It's Sunday night.
Sunday night, and you know what that means. Yes, I do. So I actually had no idea what this match was going to be. I thought it was going to be a coffin match, but I was like, I don't think there's a coffin match in this game, and there's not. So instead, it's a ladder match to grab a chip. So I'm thinking, okay, let me just get off out of the ring. I'm going to just beat the hell out of these guys with any weapons I can get. Brian Cage being annoying there. Let's jump out of the ring. Now I'm trying to find a ladder. Now, as I explained earlier, a super annoying thing is picking up weapons is the same button as the Irish whip button. So 99% of the time you hit the right trigger button, it wants to try to grab somebody to Irish whip them. And you won't even be close to them. I don't know what the secret is. I don't know if there's any magic to it. I wish I could change it to something else. But I don't really know. But it's super annoying. So, it's gonna be totally random. anytime that you're in a match with more than one person, so in this case, a triple threat match, I pressed the wrong button instead of climb. So I knocked the ladder over, which is just stupid. But Brian Cage was going to try to set it back up, and I didn't let him. Instead, I just gave him that. Which, it's okay, because you do need to wear them out a little bit, so that they'll stay down longer. But for the most part, you need, like, right there. Darby Allin is laying on top of the ladder. I'm trying to get the ladder back up, but the game is trying to make me grab him. And I can't grab the fucking ladder. And it's so annoying. It should not have been the same button. It should have been something else. So, look, I'm just trying to grab the ladder, but I can't. I think Brian Cage actually comes in and sets up the ladder, but oh, I grabbed it. Throws Brian Cage right into it. Darby Allin's a little distracted, so I'm like tapping the wrong buttons. It's coming up. Trying my best here. I got it down 2 levels. You gotta mash the buttons. I take a nasty bump onto the ladder. I'm annoyed, because I know that's gonna keep me down a little bit. So I'm mashing. I'm mashing buttons, so I gotta get back up. Now I'm climbing. Darby. I just decide I gotta fall off right onto the ladder. Taking more damage, keeps me down even longer. Now no ladders are up, so now I gotta deal with that again. So annoying. Ladder matches in this game would be so annoying. This wasn't even that difficult of a match, but I could have had it finished way sooner if not for the random button that they decided to make be the pickup weapon button, but also the Irish whip button. Makes 0 sense. Darby just flies off the top of it and knocks down the ladder in the process. It's hilarious. Just complaining even more about the button setup here. So here's Brian Cage being a total moron. So Darby puts me in a submission move, which he cannot win the match with that submission move. He has to grab the chip that's hanging above the ring. But for whatever reason, no matter what the match type, if somebody starts doing a submission move, it attracts the other wrestlers to try to break up that submission move, even if it doesn't win them the match. So, I'm setting up the ladder. I'm thinking to myself, I'm in a good spot here. And Brian Cage just attacks me again. And he's got a finisher. And I'm like, oh hell. I'm spamming. I'm trying to counter. But thankfully, he doesn't actually hit his move. He doesn't hit his finisher on me. Which is super lucky. So I'm about to get up. This is pretty funny. Darby gets his signature move and decides I want to hit my signature really bad, despite the fact that I'm climbing the ladder. And it gives me all the time I need to get the chip and win the match. So you could probably lose that match faster than it would take to win it. It just depends on the situation. I really don't know why, because I'm just now realizing in my head I probably could have got through that match a lot faster if I would have just lost it.
What's in my hands, Tony, is...
But yeah, I didn't. I guess I probably could have shaved off a couple minutes there. So challenge yourself. This is the last block, the last chapter of the Road to Elite mode. This sub-chapter is so annoying for speedruns, because they give you 2 different gauntlet matches and then 2 different fatal 4-way matches, if I remember correctly, but I think I'm right. So this one in particular starts you off facing guys roughly about your size that were that are just, you know, basically big deals. But it starts you off every time with a signature, because you're actually way more powerful, and the opponents are weaker in this gauntlet match. So it starts you off every time with a signature move, and usually one finisher and you're done. But I said this in my original commentary that it's funny to me that they give you a signature and they start you off facing MJF, because MJF has the ability to jump you before the bell. So unless you're really paying attention, you won't see him really coming, and you'll lose that signature ability right away. Now, depending on how you go about things, there is actually a better way to do this. I'm losing a lot of time. So, once you hit MJF and you get him out of the ring, just start taunting immediately so that you can get another signature before Pac even hits the ring. And if you can get a signature before Pac hits the ring, as soon as he enters the ring, or as soon as he starts running down the ramp, hit your taunt so that you can get your finisher. And then, as soon as they enter the ring, hit him with your finisher, and you can just about eliminate him, like, right away. Just look at Pac. Look at his momentum bar right there. Under normal circumstances, you're probably not going to beat him with that much momentum. Usually you want to see danger. But because you are a little more powerful and they're considerably weaker in this gauntlet match here, you can beat him really easily. So you want to hit him with a finisher right away, and you can just about put him away, like, right off the bat. But I toyed around too much and wasn't able to do it. I didn't even get a chance to build a signature before Matt came out. I should have done my long taunt and probably would have got a signature really fast. I kept trying to do it there, which was stupid. Matt can actually be pretty annoying for whatever reason. Here's my mistake. Well, I thought based on that replay, he was going to have his leg in the rope. I do think that happens one more time. But got through that one decently. A lot of time could have been saved there. So then we go on to the next week where we do another gauntlet match. But this time it's with all the big guys, which adds another level of annoyance to it. Here we are flying to Pittsburgh. Yep, there you go. Right to Dynamite. Nyla Rose is here to tell us the bad news. And start off against Paul White, who is probably the most annoying big man in the game. He's got the unyielding pose. He just absolutely eats every blow that you throw at him. So the best way to deal with him is to try and grapple him and then do a strong strike instead of a strong grapple, because you won't be able to pick him up unless you build another guy that's probably as big as Paul White. But with Kenny Omega, you can't do that. You can't pick him up. So you have to, like, try to grapple him and try to hit him with a strong strike. So right there, I grappled him and then I pressed triangle, because I'm using a PlayStation 5 controller, which would probably be, Y on Xbox. So that I can do a strike while I'm in a grapple with him. that was the same thing. I grappled him from behind, hit him with a drop kick, he falls down. Doesn't matter how big they are, they will fall if you do that to them. Occasionally you can get him with some strikes like there, but then he just hits you with that unyielding pose, and it's annoying because it just shaves more time, or puts more time onto your speedrun. So every time he does that where he puts his hand up, he's trying to get you in a bit of a test of strength. So every time he does that, the best thing to do is to start striking him, because he'll eat the strikes. Or he'll actually take the strikes instead of eat them. I'm able to get him with the one-wing angel, but annoyingly he kicks out because this is elite mode and they're harder, so why would he? They're down with one. Which I found funny, because in my original commentary I point out that he like this whole time you can't pick him up ever, do any moves to him. But then Kenny Omega is just like, nah, son, I'm going to pick you up for a one-wing angel. I'm going to not only pick you up, I'm going to put you on my shoulders, sit there for a couple of seconds, and then slam you down. Makes a load of sense, but whatever. Just hitting him with some good strikes. He's in danger mode, but I think I try to go for it here, but I don't think I actually get him. Yeah, it kicks out with the grit ability, which... If you look at the menu and you look at the grit ability, every one of those abilities, it says like gives you a slight probability to kick out, and it's like a slight. But what's the percentage? Because it seems like if they have grit, they seem to kick out a lot. So that slight must be a lot more than just a slight. At least that's what it seems like to me. But maybe it's also the elite difficulty kind of upping the possibility that they'll kick out with grit. But yeah. Luchasaurus again. The second time this run. I think he was more annoying here than he was the first time. Boom. Hit him with the V trigger. Now the reason I did that was because I figure maybe it will just add some extra damage. Maybe I can. It's like an insurance policy that maybe I'll kind of guarantee that he'll go down for the 3. Then I hit him with the one-wing angel, and he's too close to the ropes. So I had a bad angle and too close to the ropes. So I broke the pin myself, knowing that it would be called a rope break. And they don't call rope breaks instantly. It's only until the referee gets into position, which takes a couple of seconds for the referee to get into position. So knowing that it's just going to get called a rope break, I just break it instantly. And naturally he would pick out of another pin attempt. So I'm just trying to beat him down. I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to try to hit him with another one-wing angel. Call it quits. Actually, okay. I hit him with a V trigger here. Interesting. Fair enough, though. He was already in danger, so I guess hit him with a signature. You really don't even have to bother. But he's just kicking out of everything for some reason. It's Luchasaurus. I'm hitting taunts. I shouldn't even be hitting taunts. Didn't do too much to my time right there, but that was another couple of seconds that could be saved. It's sad. Alright, so I got one more guy. I got Brian Cage again, so hit the long taunt. Look at my momentum bar, and then look at it after this. Like, jumped, increased, and I get signature just almost before he gets into the ring, but one shot, already got signature. Hit him with the B trigger. Huge detriment, actually. It hurt me a lot more than it actually helped me, because it seems to throw them into the ropes, which is not ideal. It's right there. his leg is in the ropes. I have to break the pin, which means that he gets right back up. So now I gotta do all that again. He's back into the pin. And he's kicking out. Just rookie mistake after rookie mistake in this match. This one could have been a whole lot easier if I just would have not used the V-trigger. This is my huge downfall in this match. And then it just seemed like I couldn't get my momentum up like super fast, but and then he just counters out of my signature. He's countering my moves. He's trying to taunt on me, but I'm like, no. Here's a boot that doesn't even come close to hitting him. Signature time. Now this was okay because I hit the V trigger in the center of the ring. So that's fine. But it's when I get too close to the corner, that's when it's bad. So I got really lucky there. He kicks out and then he gets back up and he's going to go attack me straight away, and I had to hit a taunt to get my finisher. But thankfully, I hit my taunt, and you have to hit the taunt for a certain amount of time before it gives you the finisher. It's not instantaneous. I think it's like a second of your taunt, and then you got it. So I had to hit that taunt, and he was getting back up instantly. But I hit it enough, and then he goes for the grapple, and I was able to counter that, which I don't even know how I did. I think I just happened to get lucky with that one. So here's week 3. Here's a annoying fatal 4-way match. Abaddon out there to tell me the bad news. Malachi Black is in this match. He was my original choice to do this run with because he does a spinning kick. For his finisher, which I figured would have been an easy, fast finisher to use for this run. But I realized when I was going through the stats for everybody that his finisher strength wasn't at a level 5, and his momentum wasn't at a level 5 either. So it would have been a little slower to gain momentum to get finishers with Malachi Black as compared to Kenny Omega. So I ended up skipping on that. So here's my strategy for this match. I have to lose this. Winning a fatal 4-way match in this game is a testament to your patience, especially on elite difficulty. So I said, screw that. I'm going to try this strategy out. I'm going to lose the match. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take somebody from this match, and I'm just going to throw them to the outside, and I'm going to beat them up, and I am going to let the other two stay in the ring, beat each other up, and then hopefully they will quickly dispose of each other, and somebody will win the match. So I am taking Dustin out of the match and myself out of the match, which means that only Penta and Malachi Black are pretty much fighting for the victory. I've got to rely on good RNG, that these guys will just go for it and try to win this match fast. Which the CPU actually does. It actually is trying to win this match pretty quickly. And the CPU, especially Penta and Malachi, gain momentum really fast despite not having a level 5 momentum stats. They gain momentum pretty fast, so don't really even have to worry. I just got to make sure that Dustin doesn't get into the ring to break up pins. I just got to let them do their thing. So Malachi hits his signature and wins the match. Thank God. I don't have to win it. I just gotta do the match in some capacity. So that was fine. And now we are moving on to the final match of the run, which is yet another Fatal 4-Way match. Fatal 4-Way matches are a huge pain because nobody stays down long enough, and the CPU has this inane ability to, which, by the way, I noticed this as soon as I clicked on go to the pay-per-view. I did not have maximum momentum state, but it didn't matter. It doesn't really matter ultimately because I don't need it because I'm going to lose. And I actually say that in the original comment. I think I point that out. But forget what I was saying because here's something really annoying about this sub-story. You have to face a clone of yourself, like a demon version of yourself. It adds an extra match, which adds more time onto the run. So the best thing to do is to try to avoid this sub-chapter of chapter 4. Because if you can, you get to avoid an extra match, and you get to avoid all the Fatal 4-Ways, which, so long as they're tag matches or singles matches, you're going to blow through matches a lot faster. Funny enough, the clone here gives me a little bit of trouble. So I could have shaved off quite a bit of time. And I'm sitting there in my head thinking, I need to get a sub 110. At least at this point. And I'm watching the time. Yo. It's going. And here's my clone kind of kicking my ass a little bit here. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is so stupid. But anyway, I was talking about the Fatal 4-Way matches. The Fatal 4-Way matches, it's, yeah, as I said, the strategy is to just get somebody out of the ring, because it's almost impossible to win those matches, and even if you do win those matches, it's gonna take a while to do, and it takes a little bit of luck. It involves everybody going down almost as soon as you're going for a pin, because if they're down for a little bit and then you go for a pin, it just seems to wake them up, and they get up, and they really don't even have to be right next to you to break up the pin. They can just kind of flop on the floor somewhere, and then the count stops, and the pin gets broken up. So that's not ideal. You want to try to avoid those Fatal 4-Way matches or triple threat matches. I don't know how possible that is, but yeah, you do not want that at all. So here's Fatal 4-Way. Going in with the same strategy, just take somebody out of the ring, let the other two beat each other up. I think in this case I took Jericho out of the ring, or I took Mox out of the ring. Spoiler alert, CM Punk ends up winning this match. So, kind of goofing around, I was like, okay, let me just take Mox out of the ring here. So I bumped into him. I just gotta make sure that I'm keeping somebody out of the ring here. Get him back out. It's not gonna happen, pal. I'm staying out of the ring. This is probably the best strategy for this type of match. It's just like, man. Yeah, and I just start beating Jon Moxley up with a crowbar. Yeah, because definitely wouldn't have penetrated his body and killed him or anything. There's a V-trigger. Moxley's troubles. And CM Punk is going to go for a submission move, which takes up more time because nobody ever submits in this game. So Mox is able to get back into the ring, but thankfully I'm able to get him back out. And something that annoying happens in Fatal 4-Way matches is that oftentimes they'll just switch targets instantly to you. So I was thankful that Punk or Jericho didn't change their targets to go after me. So Punk wins, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, hurry up, because we're pushing 1-9 here, and I only have so much time before 110, and I wanted to keep it under 110. Let's get Punk celebrating. It's not going to happen, not wanting to see it. I'm defeated, but in reality, I won. And skip that, and boom. There we go. 109.24.37. The world record for Road to the Elite on Elite difficulty. I guess the video's about to end, I think. But thanks for watching, and hopefully it's time to set more world records. And maybe other categories of this game, or other games. We'll see.